iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, for the Best Golf Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. Tonight, we're here at the Richmond Raceway, the biggest track on the circuit here for season number 11 for the Doctor's Noise Custom Diecast 100. To bring you all the racing action here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network, my name is Roger Muth, and alongside me is Kelly Dahl. Kelly, you have seen the most races ever here with the Upstate Racing League, and we're back for the 6th time in league history.
Yeah, we don't come here to Richmond very often. Usually the league likes to make its start in the season over at Iowa like we did with this season, but we decided to bring its sister track, Richmond, back onto the schedule, and I'm glad for that. These guys always put on some fantastic runs here at these slightly larger speedways for these cars, as we normally see these guys running much less than a mile, and I believe if I remember correctly, Richmond is pretty much on that mile mark.
Right there, just under a mile 7. I believe it's 3/4 of a mile, actually, when you look at the stats for this speedway. Just smaller, just a hair smaller than the Iowa Speedway. We have raced here 5 times over the league history, where Matthew Wright won the first ever race back in 2014. Justin Brooks put his name in the record book back in 2014 and 2016. Charlie Ryan went to victory lane. And 2 of our most recent winners, Steph Marinac and Joe Schaefer Jr., both have wrote their names in the record book here at the Richmond Raceway. So those 2 drivers could go onto a repeat winner list, except it looks like we only have, unfortunately, one of those drivers here tonight, and that is Joe Schaefer Jr. in the field, ready to go. Take a look, though, here at our points championship coming into the night. This is our Arts Barbershop Championship standings coming in. This is with the adjusted point standings. Well, Robbie Keneally is on top of that. He also is our Rookie of the Year right now, top spot driver, brought to us by Racing Design. So Robbie Keneally has that Arts Barbershop top spot. Joe Schaefer Jr. is sitting right there, just a handful of points back in second. Justin McDuff is third. And how about the G-Man? Guillaume Fortin sitting there in the 4th position in the championship hunt, with Justin Fuller back to 5th after a very solid start to the season. Trey Edson, Brian Hacker, Steph Marinac, Mike Alexander, and Bill Martin round down the top 10. Kelly, there's a lot of drivers towards the back end of that top 10 that you would think you might see inside the top 5. Remember, no win and you're in. There's no championship chase at the end of the season.
No, this is the halfway point of our season right now, and like you said, there are some very strong drivers that are towards the back of that top 10, including our defending champion, Mike Alexander, who currently sits 38 points behind our leader of Robbie Keneally, but just behind Robbie Keneally, Joe Schaefer Jr. just 8 points behind, so I'd be watching for those 2 drivers to really go at it tonight.
So as we're ready here to take to our starting lineup here tonight, of course, in our Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100, Dr. Noise, of course, being tonight's sponsor, custom diecast supplier of the Upstate Racing League. Make your iRacing ride into a high-end replica. Contact them today and say the Upstate Racing League sent you. That's Dr. Noise Custom Paint and Diecast. This is your starting lineup here tonight for the race here at Richmond. Starting on the pole after a great run last week, looked like he was going to go to victory lane for the first time ever, driving the 13QC, the superior performance, number 13 QC of Guillaume Fortin. Starting to the outside of him, the Misfit Motorsports Best Colorful Creations, number 81, this is Jimmy McIntyre Jr. Starting back in P number 3, he hails out of the Empire Racing Team out of Ohio, though. It's the 98 Ohio of Chris Stump. Started at his outside, driver out of New York, driving for the Smith Racing Inc., number 45, this is Justin Smith. That's the boss man back there into the 5th position. He drives car number 96 out of the Smith Racing Inc. entry. Al Smith Jr. going 5th. Ellie Musgrave, the rookie this season out of the Northwest, driving car number 23, will roll off from 6th, while Mike Alexander of the Racing number 75, R&R Kinsman entry, will go 7th. Trey Edson, the Aftermath Motorsports number 56, going from 8th. Justin McDuff driving car number 20 out of New York. He will go 9th, while Joe Schaefer Jr. in the Epic Media number 6 will round down the top 10.
Brian Hacker in that specially designed number 11 Empire Racing Team machine. You can take a look at the hood and you may see some, well, maybe not familiar faces, but you can maybe match some faces to the voices, as a few of our commentary team is on the hood of that car, but he'll be rolling off in 11th in the 11 machine. Justin Fuller in the Aftermath Motorsports number 51, he'll be rolling off in 12th to his outside. Current championship leader Robbie Keneally, he'll be starting from 13th with a long way to go for him to go up to the front with Bill Martin in 14th. Matthew Barkhouse, he's going to roll off the 15 car in 15th with Brett Bartels to his outside in 16th. Vernon Woodard will be rolling off that number 73 machine back in 17th with Jeremy Carpenter in the 1 on the outside in 18th. EJ O'Rourke from New England, he's going to be rolling off in 19th place with Rex Hoyle, the Carolina native. He's going to be rolling off 20th.
21st here tonight, driving car number 12 out of the Rogers Motorsports stable. This is Brian Rogers Jr. Well, the Scott Austin, number 5 out of Illinois, driving here tonight. He will start back into the 22nd position. Starting 23rd, rookie this season in the 31B out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. This is Donald Bennett, starting 23rd. AJ Hamill in the 18 NY Empire Racing Team, Arts Barbershop, number 18 VT. You see, I confused you on that one. He'll start in the 24th position. Rodney Hontoon driving the Racing School number 4 here tonight. He will start back into the 25th position, while the Nasty Narwhal Racing number 53 of Colin Phillip will round down our 26 car field here tonight as they assemble 2x2 down the back straightaway. We're come back into the Hanson starter shop restart zone green flag area here tonight to start the 100 laps here tonight. Presented by Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100, as we are ready to go racing here for the 6th time in the history book for the Upstate Racing League. Green flag is up, Guillaume Fortin and Jimmy McIntyre to turn 1.
Jimmy McIntyre going way up the racetrack. That's going to allow Guillaume Fortin to get ahead. Jimmy McIntyre, though, he's going to find himself a gap to slot into that preferred bottom lane, while the rest of the field completely scattered behind them. There's a few cars still trying to make it work on the outside, including Trey Edson. It looks like Justin Smith as well is stuck on the outside of Ellie Musgrave. Now here comes Edson. He's going to look to the bottom. He's got a bit of a run, but not enough space for that run to really be worth much.
As Edson works the bottom side, though, there's Ellie Musgrave right. Elle Musgrave going to get a little sideways in car number 23, that time out of turn number 2. The young driver here out of Washington, 18 years of age, battling with some of the veterans of the Upstate Racing League. Of course, Ellie, one of those drivers that races all over the country and then comes to the iRacing platform here in the wintertime to run now with the Upstate Racing League. She'll fall back a spot there as Trey Edson in car number 56 will get around her. Now here comes Justin McDuff. Oh, that is the other Justin to the outside in car number 45. He had to check up maybe a little scrape to the wall that time out of turn number 2. Here comes Joe Schaefer Jr. battling to the inside. That Epic Media number 6 back inside the top 10.
Now Justin Fuller, he's on the bottom side right underneath the 20 of Justin McDuff. He's going to pick himself up another spot, and here comes that 6, Joe Schaefer Jr. Like we said, we have never had a repeat winner, and if Joe Schaefer Jr. wants to be the first repeat winner here at Richmond Raceway, he's got a long way to go, still getting himself just inside the top 10.
Pretty much the top 10 has gone single file. Then you got this Hornet's Nest back here where Justin Fuller has just not been able to get back down to the bottom side of the speedway. Barkhouse is going to get around him in car number 15. Now here comes the number 41 of EJ O'Rourke. He'll work to the inside. Here comes Vernon Woodard. Looks like Bill Martin just stuck on the outside also there. Vernon Woodard going to slide up the speedway, almost banging doors with the 45 of Justin Smith. They will keep it clean though. Just a little rub rail action maybe. As now, Brian Rogers Jr. will also make it around car number 45. Justin Smith just cannot catch a break here. Down 14 spots here in the first 6 laps of this race.
Yeah, he is dropping like a rock, and I don't think you can even just solely contribute it to that outside lane, because there have been drivers that have been able to work the outside. Now here comes Bartels. He's going to get underneath that 45, and at this point, it's now looking like Smith is just trying to get himself to the back of the field. He's still staying up the racetrack, not dropping down into that preferred lane, despite the fact that there was a gap there. But now he is going to go single file. Hopefully he can kind of regather things and start working back up. But the final total for how many positions he's dropped, 16. Started all the way up in 4th, now finding himself in 20th.
That's a far way to try and claw his way back up here inside the top 5 tonight. Already 7 laps in the books. We'll come by this time. It'll be 8 laps completed. Everybody still chasing G-Man. That Racing Designs number 13 QC, that Porsche, the only Porsche entry here tonight in tonight's field for the Doctor's Noise 100. Of course, Jimmy McIntyre still sitting back there with that Best Colorful Creations number 81. He is sitting in 2nd. How about Chris Stump? He's back there in 3rd. Mike Alexander has picked up 3 spots already. He is now running with that Xander Signs number 75. They're running into the 4th spot, while Al Smith Jr. holds down the 5th spot, started 5th, and is still running inside the top 5 here tonight. So those drivers have all gone single file. Battle back here still. Bill Martin trying to take his number 39 machine to the inside of Vernon Woodard. He will battle down the back straightaway side by side.
Looks like he is going to be able to get that position away from Vernon Woodard. Vernon Woodard still trying to hold off on the outside, but that outside line right now just does not have the pace, and that's going to allow that 39 machine of Bill Martin to get through. Mike Alexander, he's going to get himself right underneath that 98 of Chris Stump. He's going to pick himself up another position. That 75 car, we were talking about him. He's our defending champion, a little bit further back in the points, but he's putting on a good performance so far tonight, already up 4 positions.
So as he finds himself sitting 3rd, Chris Stump bumped back there. Now will Al Smith Jr. maybe. Was he saving some tires? Did Chris Stump possibly run the good off the tires? These drivers do have 1 set of racing tires down in the pits if they were to need them. Hopefully they don't need them just yet. Battle just inside the top 10. Ellie Musgrave still holding off Joe Schaefer Jr. Brian Hacker has been able to move into that 10th spot. Look at Robbie Keneally. He will now take the Grinch entry down to the bottom side here in turn number 1. Will he be able to get around Brian Hacker? Hacker's going to actually lift off the throttle in the 11 Illinois. He will take the turn 3 Racing Network. I don't even know if you want to call them the bandits there on the hood of that car, but right now, Brian Hacker back to running in 11th, matching his car number here tonight. Robbie Keneally will pick up that 10th position, moving himself up 3 spots here tonight. He, of course, is one of our Rookie of the Years, presented by Racing Designs Rookie of the Year sponsors this season. So right now, Robbie Keneally in the 1K is sitting in 10th.
Still up at the front, Guillaume Fortin. He's got a big lead over Jimmy McIntyre Jr., but now here comes Mike Alexander. He's putting pressure on that 81 machine. He's moved up 4 positions. He wants to make it 5 as he gets to the bumper area of that Beth Colorful Creations machine. Taking a look just to the inside, coming down that back straightaway. He's got the pace. He's been showing it. He just needs to find an opportunity, get himself a bit of a run off the corner, and now here is that opportunity down the front straightaway. He gets that car to grip on the exit on the bottom of turn 4. And he is going to fly by that 81 machine. And now Guillaume Fortin has got to contend with Mike Alexander, though he still has almost a full second of a gap between that 13 QC and the 75.
As Jimmy McIntyre falls back to 3rd, as you look back through the results here, the last time the Upstate Racing League brought these, well, it was actually the late model back then, I believe. McIntyre was actually able to pull off a 4th place finish here at the Richmond Raceway. That was back in the Rumar Vinyl Designs 125 back on February the 20th of 2020. So Jimmy McIntyre right now, as well, he's 1 spot better than when last time he came here to this track, but he'll have Chris Stump breathing down his neck in that 4 Loco number 98 Ohio. As we come by, we'll complete lap number 17 that time by, and I'm being told something happened to the driver of car number 4. There's Rodney Hantoon in the racing school number 4 entry. He is off the race pace right now. Let's take a look back here on our Turn 3 Racing Network replay. The truck says something happened to Hantoon. Let's take a look at it here as he goes down into corner number 1, it looks like right here. Off turn 2, he just lost the handle of the number 4, locked it down, spun to the inside there, lightly touches the inside wall, throws it in reverse, does not bring a caution flag out as he was actually to refire and keep that car going. He'll be the first car, though, on that hot seat.
Ellie Musgrave currently trying to battle off and hold on to a top 10 position as she got shuffled to the outside by Joe Schaefer Jr. And now there is a line of cars trying to make their way past her on the bottom side. She's been able to hold off pretty well on that top side. Now going to find herself a gap to get back into the preferred line, but she was holding some decent pace, was able to really contend with that 6, but now taking a look back up towards the front of the field, we got the 98 of Chris Stump. He's gotten underneath that 81 of Jimmy McIntyre Jr., and looks like Al Smith Jr., he's going to try to follow him through.
So as he follows him through on that move there, Chris Stump taking over the 3rd spot, Smith taking over 4th, putting Jimmy McIntyre back 1 position here. That's how they're running currently here tonight at the Richmond Raceway.
Looking kind of familiar up at the front this week. This is, I believe, pretty much the same thing we were seeing last week for the longest time, as back at Oxford Plains, Guillaume Fortin had the lead and was holding on to it for a long time, with Mike Alexander trying to chase him down and put the pressure on. This week, though, they've got a lot more room to pass and battle, and that gap that Guillaume Fortin had just disappeared in a second. But now looking back right behind them, though, Al Smith Jr., he's got himself underneath Chris Stump, and now he's going to try to get through, and looks like Trey Edson as well is going to push him along.
That all was set up by the lap car, Rodney Hantoon. They just caught him in the wrong spot. Stump had to check up. Al Smith had a great run. Now he'll look to the inside. Smith will take that 3rd spot, but battle for the race lead. Mike Alexander in turn number 1, the R&R Kinsman. R&R Racing, that's the Rev Racing, actually, number 75 on Mike Alexander on the highlighter yellow machine going to the race lead here on lap number 24, as he has cleared the 13 QC by, well, call it maybe a half a car length. New race leader here picking up the first lap lead. That's not named Guillaume Fortin. See out in front of him with our Dr. Noise onboard camera. Mike Alexander, clear track ahead of him.
It has taken Mike Alexander less than a quarter of the race to move himself up 6 positions and take over this race lead. And at the beginning of this race, it looked like Guillaume Fortin was so strong. He opened up a huge gap over the rest of the field, and Mike Alexander, as soon as he was able to work his way through that field, made that gap disappear almost in an instant. Now Guillaume Fortin has to kind of focus up, fight back, and hope that 75 machine has maybe worked his tires just a little too much, and that he might still have a chance later on in this race when that 75 starts to lose grip.
Somebody that just lost grip last time down there in 4 was actually Al Smith Jr. If you look at the timing and scoring, race fans, he is starting to fall through the field. He was 3rd last time by. Now he's back to running in the 6th position. Edson, Stump, and Fuller have made their way around, and now Al is still stuck on the outside with that Stan RC Raceway number 96, the driver out of South Glens Falls, New York. He's got Robbie Keneally now looking down to the inside of him, and then Joe Schaefer is there. Then Jimmy McIntyre's down on the bottom with Ellie Musgrave. So the choo-choo train down around the bottom side of the speedway is coming for Mr. Al Smith as he works the outside of the speedway down in turn 1 here on lap number 28. Oh, sideways
Ellie Musgrave
goes the 23.
Hit. Caution flag will fly as we saw Ellie Musgrave take a hit from behind. She got sideways and kicked off a whole incident there. So a number of cars involved. Looks like Matthew Barkhouse went hard into the inside wall. There was another car behind them. I think it may have been EJ O'Rourke, actually, that had the bigger incident, kind of getting into the wall and then getting up into the 20 machine.
A lot of good racing here in the first 30 laps of this one as the caution flag will fly on lap number 28. Ellie Musgrave, the driver out of Washington, the Narrative Coffee True Contracting Team Nelson entry, bringing out the caution flag. Let's go back. Let's see what happened to the 23 down here in the corner. Brian Hacker goes down to the bottom side. Oh, it looks like Hacker drove straight into the corner, maybe overshot just a little bit. That was the 15 of Barkhouse and EJ O'Rourke, both going around. So Ellie making contact with the outside wall in car number 23 to bring out the caution flag here, the first caution flag of the evening. Let's see if we can possibly get a onboard camera shot here facing back right on board with our R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage onboard camera. There is Brian Hacker, and Hacker just giving a little tap there, and Barkel's going to the inside. EJ O'Rourke sliding to the inside also, but those two drivers will keep on going. Not much damage done to their vehicles, if any, here tonight. But that's the first caution flag of the evening, and some drivers taking advantage to come to pit road.
Yeah, if this was anything like Iowa, these guys will need fuel at some point, and they do have one set of tires, though. If they are thinking of taking tires this early, it may not be the best thing. They'll get a good boost of speed now, but making those tires last a whole 70 laps is going to be a tall order.
So we're keep a close eye on those drivers here tonight. After our first caution flag of the evening, was it time to come to pit road, or should they have waited just a little bit longer? But we got to thank the sponsors while we have a second here. Of course, Best Colorful Creations coming on board this season for the title sponsor here for the Pro Series. Best Colorful Creations is your custom cake headquarters. Need that special cake for that special moment? Then give Beth at Best Colorful Creations a call, the exclusive cake provider of the Upstate Racing League. And I heard the rumors through the grapevine that this year at the Upstate Racing Banquet, they are going to have some of Best Colorful Creations cake pops. And last time we were there, Al Smith ate all the dang cake pops, and I didn't get any. I lie. He did give me one that was half eaten, and let me tell you, it was absolutely delicious. So thanks to Best Colorful Creations for coming on board this season. And, of course, well, we got to thank Racing Designs, the Rookie of the Year sponsorship this season. And right now that top Rookie of the Year is, well, the highest-running rookie currently on the Speedway. There's the 1K, the driver out of California. Robbie Keneally is sitting there fourth, as he is the Racing Designs Rookie of the Year top spot driver currently here tonight as we pace for our first caution flag of the evening here. We're come by this time. We're complete 32 laps in this one. It is Mike Alexander out front.
Still a number of good cars behind him. We've seen Robbie Keneally, as we were just talking about him. He's been moving himself up quite a bit. He's moved up 9 positions. Our biggest mover so far, though, still a little bit further back in the field. He still has the opportunity to improve that number even more. The 53 of Colin Phillip. He's moved himself up 12 positions. I believe he started all the way back, shotgun on the field. So basically, he's got the best chance of getting the biggest mover award here tonight.
So this time by the iRacing.com pace car lights will go back off here, so we will get back to racing the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 here tonight from the Richmond Raceway. It'll be Mike Alexander, Guillaume Fortin, Robbie Keneally, Chris Stump, your top 4 drivers, when we come back into the Hanson Starter Shop Restart Zone. The Hanson Starter Shop has been in business in the upstate area for 30-plus years. Make sure to contact them to get your generator, your alternator service before the winter months, as the New York State is getting ready to get hounded by snow. As we come back into the Hanson Starter Shop, it'll be 33 laps completed as Mike Alexander takes the green flag. Guillaume Fort with a great start, and then it will be the 1K of Robbie Keneally to the outside of Chris Stump in turn 1.
And these guys want to try to get to the bottom of the racetrack as soon as possible. Here comes that one, though, of Robbie Keneally, the 1K. A great run on the high side makes for a good exit, and he's able to build up the speed a lot faster than the 98 machine, get around him. Now here comes the 13 of Guillaume Fortin. He's going to try to look underneath the 75 of Mike Alexander, and he is going to get underneath him going into turn 1. Alexander going to try to fight back on the high side just like Keneally did. He's not going to quite get the run. A bit of a wobble, though, from Guillaume Fortin, and that's going to allow that 1K of Robbie Keneally to get involved. Now a 3-way battle for the race lead.
They'll be side by side this time by off turn number 4 at the line. It'll be Mike Alexander leading us back across the start-finish line. But the G-man down low here is holding his own. He'll inch closer down in turn 1 and 2. This time their drag race, a little bit of a slide that time by the 13 QC, that time off turn number 2. But they will do it again down in turn number 4. He'll pull just about even with that Porsche down to the inside. Drag race, is it going to be the Mustang or the Porsche at the line? Give it to the G-man in that Porsche, the inside lane, making it work.
Just barely got his nose ahead, and now Robbie Keneally has decided on his line. He's going to follow that 13 QC on the bottom. No, he's going to go all the way to the bottom. Takes a look to make it go 3 wide. Going to back out at the last second, though. Still side by side, though, for Mike Alexander, Guillaume Fortin, and now Robbie Keneally looks like he's got the pace, but he has got nowhere to go with these guys battling in front of him.
I thought he was going to go below the yellow line because there is no out-of-bounds line here tonight at Richmond. Yeah, we call it like a super speedway, but there is no actual out of bounds here. And Robbie Keneally, if he wants to, he can come off turn 4. He can go through the grass to make a pass here. Guillaume still holding it down on the bottom side. Here comes now Robbie Keneally. He will stick the nose down in turn number 1. Will not be able to get there. It looked like Guillaume was kind of mirror driving that time going down the front straightaway.
Now Guillaume is going to get a much better exit than that 75 of Mike Alexander. That's going to allow him to take over the race lead completely. And now it's the 1K of Robbie Keneally's turn. He's going to try to make a pass as the caution flag flies for the second time here tonight. Take a look, see who is involved. Looks like it's Ellie Musgrave once again.
Unfortunately for the 18-year-old out of Washington, bringing out our second caution flag of the evening here in lap number 39. Take a look back here at what happened to the youngster. She was to the outside of the Martell Builders 2B entry. There's Brian Hacker also to the inside. Oh boy, maybe a little net code that time, but the same two drivers involved from the first wreck involved here in the second wreck of the evening.
Yeah, both of them running very close together, and I do believe that is some unfortunate net code for the 23 machine. Once again, though, she was able to get that car slowed up in time. I don't think she really got too much damage from it, so I think she's still just carrying that left front damage that she had from the first caution. So I think that 23 machine can still keep going.
We'll have to see if she can actually stay on the lead lap here, as I believe she's going to come down pit road. So we're keep a close eye on the 25 possibly here, but Guillaume Fortin back to the race lead here on that restart. How about Robbie Keneally? And, well, who's the one driver that we're missing out of the top 5 drivers? Mike Alexander has brought the R&R Kinsman entry to pit road, so he will now put on the fresh tires. It looks like just 2 tires on that number 75. We'll see if he can now work his way back through the field. Trey Edson, who did come to pit road under the first caution flag, he is already back to running into the 9th position. The driver out of Concord, North Carolina, here with the Aftermath Motorsports entries. Him and Justin Fuller, the team cars, coming to pit road under the first caution flag of the night, and they both have worked themselves now inside the top 10.
Now, a bit of a strategy call for that 75 machine is he's going to have a lot of traffic to get through, but he may have taken tires. I'd have to go back real quick to see if that car did lift up on both sides. I think it might have. So he did take fresh tires, probably topped up that fuel tank. And if these guys do have to come down and pit for fuel, he's probably sitting in a fairly decent spot right now.
These caution laps, of course, will help the fuel strategy here for all these drivers. Last time we were here at the Richmond Raceway, it did come down to just a fuel mileage race, everybody running out towards the end of the race. Of course, this race just a couple laps shorter, but of course, a different car this time. We ran the regular late model last time we were here. Now this time it is the super late model, so a little more horsepower and, well, a lot more fun racing action. That is for sure here as we close in on the halfway point of the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. We'll come back this time as the iRacing.com pace car lights are out. When we hit the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone, that 13 QC will have the right to fire.
Yeah, but keep an eye on that 1K of Robbie Keneally. He has been fast so far. He has worked his way up towards the front, up 11 positions. And we are going to have to see what he's going to have in store for that 13 QC and that Porsche of Guillaume Fortin.
Lights coming back on. We'll go back around here one more time. It looks like the officials were not happy with the way the cars were lined up, so they'll reshuffle a couple of them towards the back of the field here. So while we have time, we got to thank all the race fans that are tuned in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether you're watching us live over on the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page, whether you're watching us live on the Upstate Racing League Facebook page, or watching us in 1440p over on our Turn 3 Racing Network YouTube page. We welcome all the race fans from all over here tonight to watch the Upstate Racing League presented by Best Colorful Creations here tonight for the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast and Graphics. This time, I believe we will light the fire underneath these super late models.
Yeah, lights are out on the pace car. Pace car is going to move out of the way and is now in the hands of Guillaume Fortin. He's going to fire early and get a good run down the front straightaway. Green flag back in the air. Robbie Keneally going to slot himself back down in a second. Jams on the brakes. That 15 of Matthew Barkhouse goes deep into the corner trying to see if he can make something happen on the outside, but that is not going to work for him.
Remember, just a handful of laps ago, that second caution flag, car number 15 was involved. That is the 15, the R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage, number 15. Xander signs of Matthew Barkhouse, the 25-year-old, was involved, and now he is battling up 12 spots for the race lead, as now the race lead will exchange hands. Here comes that 1K, Robbie Keneally, the rookie, to the top spot.
And looks like Guillaume may have got into the wall on the exit of 2 there a little bit, slowed himself up, and that is going to allow Robbie Keneally to easily take control of that position and of the race lead, though we still have to factor in the possibility of some caution flags and some fuel strategy, as we have Trey Edson. He's the highest up of the drivers that pitted all the way back on lap 29, so if these guys do need to come down for fuel, he's in the best seat in the house.
Al Smith Jr. going to go work to the outside there. Here comes Trey Edson now in the Clemson number 56. He'll get to the inside of Smith Jr. Now here comes the 51 of Justin Fuller. He just had himself a heck of a run at the Weedsport Speedway for the Upstate Racing League. Sideways for Edson that time, though. Smith going to have to hit the hooks that time off turn 2. It'll kill all the momentum in the 96 of Smith. Here comes E.J. O'Rourke now. The next car in line will be Jimmy McIntyre, and then that would be for the 10th position.
McIntyre going to take a look to the inside. He's going to get his nose in on turn 1, completely side by side by turn 2. But Al Smith Jr. going to have the advantage of the high line with a good drive off the corner. Not going to be enough to get fully ahead of that 81 machine. So as these guys are fighting the Brett Bartels in that 2B machine, he's going to close up right behind them. Al Smith Jr. going to have the advantage coming across the stripe this time, but still neither one of these drivers giving up an inch.
As they continue to battle side by side, somebody quietly has been working his way closer to the top 10. There's the 54 North Carolina of Rex Hoyle driving the Colony and Tire and Service Center, number 54 NC. He's got Justin McDuff taking a peek at the Stay Salty, number 20 to the inside. But look at Mike Alexander. He is now sandwiched in between these two drivers that are battling, and that is just there for the 12th position. So right now, that 75 of Mike Alexander, you thought he might have been able to make up a lot more ground here, but he's just kind of stuck in traffic trying to bite his time.
And he needs to be careful while he works through traffic now, because he has put on that fresh set of tires. He does not have any more left, and now he's going to get into the wall on the front straightaway. That's going to lose him nearly 2 positions now, as pretty much that advantage he had from the fresh tire is completely wiped out.
Donald Bennett looks like he has had problems on the front straightaway. The driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania, trying to get car number 31. He spun off turn 4. He'll refire. We stay green. But your race leader, Robbie Keneally, is starting to close in on the back there of that 31B of Donald Bennett. So the lap traffic could come into factor here sooner than later for Robbie Keneally and Guillaume Fortin, who have now opened up about a 1-second lead over Matthew Barkhouse and the entire field following him.
Now, once again, a bit of a 1 or 2 car breakaway from the rest of this pack, and there is a fairly sizable pack right behind them, led by Matthew Barkhouse. Now, here, look at the 39 of Bill Martin. He decides he doesn't want to be involved in this anymore. He drops back a few positions. He's going to slot in right behind Justin Fuller in 7th place, right ahead of E.J. O'Rourke, who has closed himself up to this lead group. So there seems to be some pace in that 41 machine as well.
Yeah, there's pace in the 51, too, except he just scraped it off the wall that time off turn number 2, but he's able to close right back in on the team car, the 56 of Trey Edson. Those cars running 5th and 6th as team cars, still trying to hunt down, though, that number 1K. That's out front. Mike Alexander still back here in the Hornet's Nest. He'll now go to the inside here. That is Rex Hoyle. They're going to bang doors. Hoyle going to go up the speedway in that Colony Tire and Service Center. That'll open up the door. Here comes the Epic Media, number 6 of Joe Schaefer. Remember, Schaefer's won here before at the Richmond Raceway. Well, right now, he is back into the 15th position.
He is way back in the field after pitting on lap 40 under that last caution, so he's also got fresh tires underneath his machine, but there's just so much traffic here tonight that there really isn't much advantage to getting those fresh tires, because when you come down the pits to take them, you just get completely lost in the pack.
Lap car there, the number 31 of Donald Bennett to the outside of the speedway there. He's got damage on his Dodge, and it also looked like that may have affected the number 20 of Justin McDuff in the Stay Salty entry. He also went up the speedway. That will now allow Mike Alexander to get clear of car number 20. Now here comes the Joe Schaefer Jr. entry down into turn number 1. Looks like McDuff just going to lift early. He will get back down to the bottom side of the speedway. He's got damage all over the front of that Empire Racing Stables Ford Mustang. The 2B of Bartels, though, he will insert himself inside the top 10 because Al Smith, contact. Smith's going to go around, so does Jimmy McIntyre. That'll bring the caution flag out for the third time here tonight as Al Smith Jr. goes around with Jimmy McIntyre and the 2B of Brett Bartels. So the third time the caution flag will wave here tonight at the Richmond Raceway.
Bartels once again involved in this caution, though not to his fault. Really left with nowhere to go after that 96 machine started to get sideways. So a little bit more damage on the front end of that 11 machine. And actually, despite everything it's been through, that 11 still looks pretty clean.
Well, I think that's because we're riding on board that car. It's been in all the wrecks here tonight, but boy, does that Pontiac look good.
It's probably been in all the wrecks because we're on that car and kind of transferring, you know, our energy to it, I guess.
Well, they said Pontiac builds excitement, and that's why they went out of business. He is the only Pontiac here tonight in the field, and it's got a sharp-looking paint scheme. He just wants it to be talked about, I think. Well, let's talk about it here on this replay. Let's take the look. See just out in front of them, the 2B of Bartels, the Bartel Builders entry goes to the inside. Jimmy McIntyre tries to come back to the bottom. It's going to slam the door on the 96 of Al Smith. Around goes that coach's corner, number 96, and the caution lights coming on here tonight. So just the driver trying to get back down to the bottom side of the speedway, and unfortunately causing a caution flag. And we have to apologize for our overlays here tonight. They seem to just not want to be cooperating as we're under caution flag.
And as we're under caution, a number of cars have come down pit road. Scott Austin, Rex Hoyle, Brian Rogers Jr., Bill Martin, Colin Phillip, Ellie Musgrave, Al Smith Jr., Chris Stump, Jimmy McIntyre, Justin Smith, Matthew Barkhouse, and Guillaume Fortin all came down pit road, get fuel, get tires, and get themselves back going. Now there is only 2 cars that I can see, 3 actually, that have not pit, including our leader, that 1K of Robbie Keneally. So he seems to be trying a bit of a gutsy play here, but at this point, he may be in a little bit of pressure as he's got a car with about 29 laps fresher tires right behind him.
Well, we'll see how much tire is left on the 1K of Robbie Keneally when we go back racing. Under 40 laps to go here tonight of Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series for the Upstate Racing League. Racing in their 11th season here on the iRacing.com platform, the early years of the Upstate Racing League. They ran a couple seasons of back-to-back seasons here on iRacing, and, well, one time. Now we're one time a year is what I'm trying to say. We ran a couple seasons in the same year, calendar year back in the day, but now we're once a season, once a year actually. So these seasons are very stretched out. And Kelly, I know you sat on the sidelines all year, or all off season, all year long, waiting for this season to start back up.
Yeah, I'm always waiting for these guys, always excited for the winter time, and so we can get back to Thursday nights watching these guys and girls here race. And they always put on a fantastic show week in, week out, and tonight so far has been no exception. And the way it's building so far, this last quarter, or I guess I'd say last third of the race, shaping up to be a really good one, as we've got a few different tire strategies going on, a few different pit strategies, and still some questions up in the air, like how long can that 1K of Keneally stay at the front of the field?
That's going to be the talk of the town as we get ready. I believe we're going to get the 1 lap to go before we go back. Green flag racing. It'll be Robbie Keneally, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, EJ O'Rourke, Brett Bartels, Brian Hacker, Mike Alexander, Joe Schaefer Jr., Justin McDuff, and Vernon Woodard. Your top 10 drivers here. There's also one other driver that has not come to pit road here tonight. That is Jeremy Carpenter in the 1 entry, that Carpenter's tax service. Olds will be out there tonight out of the Devil's Bowl Speedway. He has also not come to pit road. He will restart back into what looks like the 12th position.
Field shaping up once again. Trey Edson going to be on the outside of Robbie Keneally over at the front of the field. Everyone behind Keneally has pitted, taken tires, taken fuel. How long can the 1K last? Does he have enough pace to be able to hold off these other strategies? Pace car down and away as we enter the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone. And the 1K of Keneally, he's going to fire off, and he's going to head down towards turn 1 as the green flag comes back into the air for lap 65. And look at Trey Edson, going to dive all the way down to the bottom to cover off the 51 of Justin Fuller. Now the 41 of EJ O'Rourke. He's going to try to make a move on the outside.
The Brian Rogers Motorsport blimp camera showing us a great restart there by Robbie Keneally, and Trey Edson able to hold off the rest of the competition there It will be Robbie Keneally coming back here to lead the first lap back to green flag with E.J. O'Rourke back there in third. Justin Fuller side by side battling for third position. Of course, E.J. O'Rourke picking up 16 spots here in the early going of this one. Brian Hacker right there also. Waiting to see which one of these drivers. Justin Fuller looks like he'll get the drive off the bottom side of the speedway. He will pick up P number 3 when E.J. O'Rourke was able to drive it really deep on the outside into the corner, but it does not look. Oh, contact between those two. That's going to put E.J. O'Rourke up the speedway as the caution flag is going to come out. Oh no, the driver of car 45 here tonight, Justin Smith, has been turned around out of turn number 4 to bring out the 4th caution flag this evening. Will fly here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. The Bearded Wonder out of Wilton, New York, driving car number 45, the 34-year-old, a dirt modified driver up in the Northeast, now attempting his hand here with the super late model here on the iRacing.com platform in his off time. He also runs over there with the Bartell Builders Big Block Series on Sunday night with the Upstate Racing League. Kind of a little more home for him. He said here tonight he was very worried about starting on the outside of the front row, or up towards the front, I should actually say, as he's now down 22 positions back into the 26th spot. Take a look back here at the replay here to see what happened to the 45. He was running just in front of the 39 of Bill Martin. And oh, Martin going to get into the 45, and Rex Hoyle nowhere to go in that Colony Tire and Service Center number 54. Spinning around goes the 45 to bring out the caution flag out of turn number 4.
Bit of a discussion over the radio of who should take the blame for that caution and be moved to the back of the field, but not what you think. Each driver kind of thought that they should claim it and take it over, but Justin Smith, he seems to have won out in the discussion. He will take the caution, move himself towards the back of the field, though he was already back there after taking the spin. So bit of tough luck for that 45 here tonight. He's been kind of in a bit of a struggle here, as he's, like you mentioned, moved all the way back and now involved in a caution and spun that 45 round. Though the only good news is, even after that spin, he's got a clean race car. He still has a chance here tonight if he can just find where the grip is, find where the pace is, and he can start moving himself up towards the front.
Lap 69 will go in the books here under our caution flag tonight. So closing in on just 30 laps to go here. Of course, our next race that will come up for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series, we will head to the Bull Ring. It is a Coach's Corner challenge, or actually, I believe that is completely wrong from our stat guy. We'll yell at him when we get off the air here tonight. The next race will be at the South Boston Speedway for the Dr. Noise Custom Graphics 100. That, of course, right before the Christmas break at South Boston. So, of course, coming back home to the Northeast a little bit for a lot of these drivers out of the Upstate Racing League. South Boston will be one of those small bull rings like we saw back at, well, the Las Vegas Bull Ring, where Robbie Keneally was able to go to victory lane before he actually got to turn some real laps at the Bull Ring in his late model out west. So he leads here tonight in the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 as we get the 1 to go marker here. We're firing back off with 71 laps completed.
Just over a quarter of the race left to go, and these laps have been ticking down very quickly. A lot of green flag running here tonight, and that has been really should say something, because I personally turned a few laps before the race went off, and this car is tough to drive here. It wants to get loose off of the corners. We've seen some of the guys struggle with traction off of the corners, but pretty much everyone has been able to keep the car pointed the right way, and so far we haven't even seen any self spins. So I'm going to knock on my desk here. Hopefully we don't see any more.
Well, we've seen 2 self-spins, but they did not bring a caution flag out. So as we come back into the Hanson starter shop, restart zone, green flag back into the air once again. And another great start by Robbie Keneally. He'll leave E.J. O'Rourke, Trey Edson, and Justin Fuller, along with Brian Hacker, to battle here as they all head into turn number 1 as they scoot down the back straightaway. Robbie Keneally out and away from the field. E.J. O'Rourke going to slam the wall out of turn 2.
And that's given an opportunity for that 11 of Brian Hacker, He's going to get a bit of a wiggle, though, and lose a bit of ground. Here comes that 75 of Mike Alexander. We saw him leading this race earlier on, or battling for the race lead. Now he is trying to get around the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke as he gets himself back into the top 5.
They were just 3 wide. They're going to go 3 wide once again down the back straightaway. Bill Martin to the inside of the 20 of Justin McDuff, putting A.J. Hamill, Mr. Confusion, to the outside. Look at Guillaume Fortin. He'll bring the 13 QC now to the bottom. He just saw what Bill Martin was able to do, and now he'll try to do it down in turn number 1. Justin McDuff looks like he is going to lift out of that. That'll allow the number 37 of Vernon Woodard to come also into the picture. A lot of moves being made here now as we get closer to 25 laps to go.
Everyone's starting to realize that time is ticking, and there's the 6th of Joe Schaefer Jr. getting hard into the wall down the front straightaway. He's struggling to maintain control of that race car. He is somehow going to keep that thing pointed in the right direction, but he lost a ton of ground, as I think he lost maybe a good 5, I think even more than 5 spots, maybe even almost 10 positions.
So Joe Schaefer Jr., the last time we were here at the Richmond Raceway, he was the one that took it to victory lane. Tonight, now, that is going to be a very, very tall uphill battle for him to get back to the front, because Robbie Keneally, with 25 to go, it'll be just 24 to go, is running away from Trey Edson and Justin Fuller. Still a good number of laps, 24 to go at the line for Trey Edson. Remember, they came down to lap number 29. Your leader, though, of Robbie Keneally, he has not come to pit road at all here tonight, and he is still leading this race.
Back at Iowa, we saw these guys did have to take a pit stop for fuel. Robbie Keneally, though, trying to stretch that fuel as long as possible. I believe he is now the only car on the racetrack that has not pit at any point here tonight. So that 1K is trying to go as far as possible, and I'm sure he's wanting to see as many cautions. And as I'm speaking, another caution does come out. So that's going to be good for Robbie Keneally, as we've got a big wreck on the inside of turn 2.
EJ O'Rourke also going to slam the wall that time down the back straightaway, but the caution flag coming out, and drivers still trying to roll away from that wreck. It looks like Donald Bennett involved, possibly Rodney Hontoon, Colin Phillip, Justin Smith, Al Smith Jr., and Ellie Musgrave in car number 23. I'm being told she was involved also here. So the youngster involved in another wreck here with just 22 laps to go. The 5th caution flag is waving. Take the look. What happens here down into corner number 1, possibly Ellie Musgrave. Oh, the 53. Colin Phillip into the back of the 23. The 53 going to go around, and there you see everybody piling into the 53 of Colin Phillip. Al Smith Jr. Looks like that was the number 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. also down there into the corner. So a pile of them down in turn number 1, right on board with the boss man of Al Smith with the Dr. Noise onboard camera here. You see what he sees. You see on the 53, and then all of a sudden, Smith going to get tagged from behind by Justin Smith, and around those 2 Smith Racing Inc. entries go as they spin them to the inside wall. All drivers will be able to carry on and keep going here, but I believe that we have some drivers that won't be so happy after that one.
Now, Ellie Musgrave has been bumped numerous times now to kick off a couple of these cautions. Somehow, though, there isn't that much damage to that race car. That 23 machine just has some damage to the left front. Other than that, though, she's looking all right.
I was going to say, it's just really the left front of this car that looks like it has the damage here tonight. And other than that, this car... Now, Kelly, you've been here 5 times with the Upstate Racing League before. This track we alluded to, kind of races like Daytona. How much damage on that 23? How much will that affect the handling?
I really only say this track doesn't really race like Daytona, but it is the Daytona for these cars because it is so big. But it will affect a bit more than, say, last week at Oxford, where there is no straightaways. But it's still a short track. We're not getting up to these crazy high speeds, so I think even with that left front damage, as long as nothing's really rubbing and killing the speed, I think that 23 machine still should have some okay pace.
Well, it does look like Ellie Musgrave will start back into about the 20th position here as we come by this time. Take a look from high above with our Brian Rogers Motorsports blimp camera here tonight from the Richmond Raceway as the lights on the iRacing.com pace car do go out. So it'll be Robbie Keneally, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, Mike Alexander, Brian Hacker, and Matthew Barkhouse, who will start in your front 3 rows here tonight. It's closing in on the time to get the big check out here tonight. It'll be just 18 laps to go when we come back green.
Yeah, Robbie Keneally still holding on to the race lead, still trying his gamble of pushing the fuel as far as possible. I think at this point he's trying to go to the end because we've had multiple cautions past the halfway point. You'd think that 1K would have come down into the pits if he was planning to. It's
Come back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone here as the iRacing.com pace car will make the left-hand turn. Robbie Keneally says, chase me if you can. Let's dance. He'll leave Trey Edson in the dust. Here comes Justin Fuller. Fuller will have second position by the time they get to 1.
Yeah, Trey Edson did not get a great start, wasn't able to dive down to the bottom and block off that 51 like he has the last few restarts. Now we get to see what Justin Fuller can do, as he is going to be up in the top 2 for the first time tonight. He's moved himself up 10 positions. Just behind them, though, the Mike Alexander, he's trying to work that 11 machine or work his way around the 11 machine of Brian Hacker on the outside. And just behind them, Matthew Barkhouse gets in the wall.
As Barkhouse gets into the wall, here comes the 13 QC at Guillaume Fortin. He'll now pick up that 7th spot. He has some of the fresher tires along with Bill Martin inside the top 10 right now as we close in. It'll be 16 times around with Brian Hacker still working the inside of that number 75 of Mike Alexander. Can Alexander get that spot and try and go run down Trey Edson and Justin Fuller as we have 16 laps to go down into turn 1 as they exit turn number 2. Here comes that 11 Illinois, Brian Hacker, back on the hunt.
And the inside line may be the faster line, but Mike Alexander's got the fresher tires, though not by much. Hacker pit on lap 29. Mike Alexander, he pit on lap 40, so that 75 machine is working those tires just a little bit more, but he does have a bit more to work with. But right behind them, Bill Martin, Guillaume Fortin, they pit pretty recently, only on lap 60. They just want one of these guys to get out of the way so they can start making moves.
They have the fresher tires. Driver out of Wisconsin now all over the back end of the Illinois driver of Brian Hacker. Hacker's still down on the bottom side. There come by. Oh, a slip up by Brian Hacker. The 39 of Bill Martin going to go straight into the back of the 11 Illinois and punch him in the corner. Here comes now the 13. One driver sideways on the back straightaway. I believe that was the 54 of Rex Hoyle. One car around on the back there. That is going to be the 53 of Colin Phillip. We stay green for the time being.
Now, Mike Alexander, he's now clear and free from those guys, but he still has to close up the gap to Trey Edson in front of him. So we'll have to see if that 75 still has the pace. The person that took the worst beating of that whole little incident there, that was the 39 Dr. Noise machine of Bill Martin. He took a hard shot to the front end. Hopefully he didn't damage his radiator.
Yeah, that Ford is flat. It was flat on that Ford before on the nose, and now it's really flat as the caution lights will come on. Believe Rex Hoyle possibly. That Colony Tire and Service Center number 54, North Carolina, has off the racetrack. It looks like he lost it out of turn number 4 as that 6th caution flag here tonight will come out. That's going to start a shootout for us here, Kelly. It'll be under 10 laps to go here tonight to figure out who will win tonight's race here at Richmond.
And each time those caution lights light up, I'm pretty sure Robbie Keneally's face lights up as this starts to play more and more into his hand.
And you talk about that. We talked about the fuel and everything going on here and Robbie Keneally not pitting. Last time Fuller and Edson were down on pit road was lap 29. Now, we've had numerous caution flags since lap number 29. This is our 6th caution flag overall. We've had 4 since lap number 29 here tonight. The heat cycle. How many heat cycles does it take to get in tires before those fresher tires by Justin Fuller really become null and void?
Yeah, and really at the core of it, they aren't that much fresher when you start to look at it, as they pit very early on lap 29, and I can't even confirm that they took tires. I'd assume that they did, considering how long they were down there. But it's definitely not going to be that much of an advantage at this point, especially with how much he had to work those tires to get himself back up to the front of this field. So I don't know if Justin Fuller really is going to have that much. Mike Alexander might have a slightly better chance as he pit a little later on lap 40. And then behind them, they've also still got Guillaume Fortin, who's shown a lot of pace here tonight, and he's on the freshest tires after pitting on lap 60.
So Guillaume coming back with that Racing Designs number 13 QC. You see him sitting there right behind Brian Hacker in the 11 Illinois. And we'll see if those fresher tires for Guillaume can come back to the front here, or if Robbie Keneally, that rookie, can hold it off. We also got to thank, of course, Xander Sign Group for coming on board this season with the Upstate Racing League, snagging one of those onboard beautiful camera footages we have, fleet and vehicle graphics. Graphic designs, of course, vehicle wraps, and anything in between. Even if you need your cornhole boards wrapped, the Xander Sign Group can do that. along with the R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage, family owned and operated. R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage has been doing business in HRM for over 40 years, specializing in selling used and new parts, used vehicles, and auto crushing and recycling. Coming back into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone, it'll be 8 laps to go as Robbie Keneally gets another great start, and Justin Fuller this time will spin the tires.
Treads, and he's going to get to the underneath that 51 machine. He's going to try to get himself back up into second, and he will clear the 51 of Justin Fuller. Fuller going to try to cross him up, though, coming off the exit. Going to check up right as he gets to the bumper of the 56. I think he's starting to realize that if he fights with the 56 for too long, Robbie Keneally in that one machine, he's going to take off.
So there's be 7 to go that time by at the line. It's Keneally, it's Edson, it's Fuller, and then you see Hacker and Alexander. They have been glued together like this for a number of laps now. Oh, this time, Bill Martin going to go way sideways that time out of 2. I was going to say that Mike Alexander was sideways in the yellow highlighter number 75, and then Bill Martin outdid him and said, hold my diecast, and let me show you how to get sideways here tonight. He is back there running into the 8th position. Guillaume Fortin and Matthew Barkhouse now are the 2 drivers that are side by side here with 6 laps to go. They're come by this time. They will see the high five in the air here from the flagman for Robbie Keneally just 5 more times around.
I don't know where we're going to see more sideways cars, here on Thursday nights in the super late model division or on Sunday night in the dirt big blocks, as we have had a number of cars getting all sorts of out of shape tonight. Now the 13 QC of Guillaume Fortin, he's going to get underneath the 15 of Matthew Barkos as the caution flag flies once again. And this, I think, will be our last caution of the night. Looks like Ellie Musgrave involved once again, as well as Scott Austin.
Well, Scott Austin out of Illinois, and that Austin Designs number 5. And oh boy, you talked about it, Kelly, how it didn't look like Ellie Musgrave's car was that damaged. Now the whole left-hand side of car number 23 and that nose clip looks like it has some severe damage. The driver out of Washington being involved here, and the car looks like the frame is twisted now at this point for the 23. Let's take a look back here and look at our 7th caution flag of the evening. There you see the Austin Designs number 5 to the outside of car number 23. They make a little contact down here in the corner. Oh, yeah, it looks like Austin's going to hook car number 23 into the outside wall. Ellie is hard into the wall. The number 5 of Austin also very, very hard into the outside wall. Let's take a look back here and ride on board with our Dr. Noise onboard camera with Scott Austin. There you see both cars just come together, and the 23 with that hard hit, and then the number 5 of Scott Austin barrel roll up and over. His night will wind up on the hooks here tonight.
Really unfortunate night for Ellie Musgrave, as she had been showing a lot of pace over the last couple weeks, but tonight though she just can't seem to get herself away from trouble, as pretty much half of the cautions have involved her getting spun around, and like we were saying, she had been managed to avoid a lot of the damage, but not on that last one. She went hard into the wall and now is down on pit road trying to get some of that damage fixed. So hopefully next week Ellie can come back and put on another fantastic race, because like I was saying, she was showing a lot of promise.
In the early going, she was very fast and looked like she was going to be able to compete for that top 5 position here tonight with the strong other rookie of Robbie Keneally. Keneally is the only rookie right now, or Racing Designs rookie championship leader coming into the night that is inside the top 10. The next rookie of the year candidate is sitting way back into the 15th position, and that is the 600 micro sprint driver of Vernon Woodard, as he is back here running 15th right now. He should line up to the inside, so we'll see if he can make his way into the top 10 before this race is over. How about Al Smith Jr.? He has started to rebound in car number 96. He's back into the 16th position after his little tussle down in the corner about 50 laps ago. But it is Robbie Keneally. Let's see if we do get that white or 1 to go here, as this will send us actually into overtime, I do believe.
Yeah, we have gotten the confirmation this will be a green-white checkered finish, and that's going to play into the hand of Robbie Keneally, as he'll have the advantage of the start, and we haven't been able to see anyone close up behind him in any of these short little sprints we've had so in the latter half of this race. So as long as there is enough fuel in that 1K, I think this is Robbie Keneally's race to lose.
He can fire whenever he wants to in the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone here tonight. If we do get another caution flag this evening, the race will be over. We only have 1 attempt at a green-white checker finish here tonight. It'll be Robbie Keneally, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, and Brian Hacker, your top 4. Don't count any of those 4, though. Remember last week we had I say a weird green-white finish to the end of that one at Oxford. And here as we go back green, Keneally with another great start. This time, Edson with a good start to the outside. He'll be able to funnel down. He'll take second. The battle will be for third.
And that 51 of Justin Fuller, he's going to try to hold off the 11 of Brian Hacker. And here comes Mike Alexander to the inside of Hacker. Hacker, though, getting a great run off of the corner. Caution flag is going to fly. The race is over. Robbie Keneally is going to win as we have a big wreck on the back straight.
Caution flag flies as they get the Carpenters tack service. 1 lap to go. It'll be Robbie Keneally winning here tonight. We'll see if we can see and find out what happened on that restart. It did look like the 98 Ohio of Chris Stump went up into the outside wall here tonight, and that is what will bring out the final caution flag of the evening. Unofficially, it will be Robbie Keneally, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, Brian Hacker, and Mike Alexander, your top 5 finishers here tonight, with Matthew Barkhouse in the 6th spot, Guillaume Fortin coming back into 7th, Bill Martin in 8th, Justin McDuffin 9th, and Brett Bartels rounding out your top 10 here tonight. As it is official, Robbie Keneally wins tonight's Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 here from Richmond.
Yeah, strong showing from Robbie Keneally and a good strategy call. As we mentioned, the only driver to not come down pit road, never took tires, never took fuel, and it is going to pay off for him in a win as he moves up himself up 12 positions to win this race.
He moves up 12 spots, and he will continue to be the Racing Designs Rookie of the Year top spot driver here tonight after we run this race here. All 100 laps and a couple extras here to finish this one off. 101 laps leaded here for the 1K of Robbie Keneally to take that number 1 car along with his minion and the Grinch to victory lane. He'll do the donuts here on the front straightaway, and we will take a quick break here tonight from the Richmond Raceway, and we'll be back here for our Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 post-race interviews here in the Best Colorful Creations victory lane.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Richmond Raceway tonight for the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast 100 here for the Best Colorful Creation Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League. It's the 6th time in racing history here for the Upstate Racing League that we have come here to the Richmond Raceway. And now, For the 6th time, we have a new winner that will join the names of Joe Schaefer Jr., Steph Marinac, Charlie Ryan, Justin Brooks, and Matthew Wright, who was the first ever winner here for the Upstate Racing League at the Richmond Raceway. Let's head down to the Best Colorful Creations victory lane, as it is the 1K of Robbie Keneally. Robbie, first driver to win here 3 times this season with the Upstate Racing League, and the 6th driver overall in history to go to victory lane at Richmond.
Yeah, it was a crazy race for sure. I knew that pit call was a gutsy call. I heard you guys say it too. I just knew that I was watching Justin and them guys you pitted first. I was just watching how quick they got up at the field there, and I knew that with the heat cycles, for some reason this thing wants to go faster, and the way they were moving up positions, I just didn't think it was going to be enough time, and I just thought the track position was going to be the best. So, we stayed with a call, and it worked out for us in the end.
It works out for you here tonight. You talk about the tires on the 1K here and getting faster as the night went on. Tell us about the tire. It's been out here on the iRacing.com platform for about a year now with this brand new version 7 tire model. Do you like it, or is it something that you would rather go back to see the old tire model come back to these cars?
It doesn't really matter to me. I think it creates for a lot different racing for sure. I've noticed that, if you just keep getting a lot of yellows in the heat cycles in the tires, it just wants to go faster. I think I ran my fastest lap towards the end there. So, it doesn't really matter to me. I think if I had to choose, I like the older one better, but this one still sure is fun.
It's fun for you, and you're able to pick up your 3rd win here at Richmond. Is this a track that you like coming to? Because this is out of the realm for the super late models.
Oh, it's probably one of my favorite tracks on the service here. I do a lot, truck, Xfinity, and Cup side on the official stuff, and this is one of my favorite tracks to come to.
Well, you're one of the only drivers to say that this is one of their favorite tracks, that's for sure. I know a lot of drivers would like to go back to possibly the Bull Ring. You actually were able to pick up the win there as you pick up the win here as we head into, just 1 week before we head into the Christmas break. Are we going to go for win number 4 next time we bring this car out onto their speedway?
You never know, but definitely hoping for it.
Well, before we let you go, here is the red carpet will roll out for the 3rd time this season for you, and the microphone is yours. Who makes it all possible back home with the Grinch?
As always, I just want to thank, you guys and Al for always putting on a good show here, and I want to thank Wiley X Sunglasses and Reaper Speed Lab.
There you hear it from Robbie Keneally, short to the point. He said the tires on the 1K were absolutely good as he got faster towards the end of this one. Robbie Keneally goes to victory lane tonight in the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast and Graphics 100 here from the Richmond Raceway. Kelly, I believe you're standing by with the driver just that finishes in 2nd.
Yeah, caught up now with Trey Edson, our 2nd place finisher of the night. Trey, we've been talking about it so much tonight about pit strategy. What was your guys' pit strategy coming into this race tonight?
I don't think Fuller and I really had one. Just kind of play it as it goes, and that caution had come out around lap 30, and neither one of us could remember the last damn lap time we ran, so we were like, I don't know how far we fell off, so we weren't really sure, so we just said screw it. The first restart after we had the new tires, I think them boys were at trouble, because we were it looked like they were sitting still and we weren't even driving hard. So let's just say it goes green the last 70 laps. I think we're in Robbie's spot. So but as the more and more cautions kept coming, it seemed like their tires were able to cool back down or equalize, or it didn't feel like we had near the advantage that we did. And then Robbie was just, he didn't really hardly make any mistakes. He was killing me out of turn 4. I felt like I would maybe either match or equalize him in 1 and 2, but just out of 4, I'd be over here swatting flies and he would just drive off. So 2nd, 2 weeks in a row, that's, I don't even remember where I started the year, but it feels like I was wrecking or finishing mid-pack. So took a little break and 2 seconds in a row. So got not too upset with that.
Yeah, and those 2 seconds in a row have moved you up to I think you're going to be within the top 5 now of the point standings, if my math is right. I don't even know, but we're at the halfway point of the season. You're sitting in the top 5. How are you feeling about the championship at this stage?
I haven't even really thought about it or considered it or even really looked at the points. This isn't really my best car. I jump in this thing and I'm kind of lost on what to do. I usually just stick to NASCAR stuff, and then Fuller and I come run this during the winter with Upstate. So it's not really something I drive the other 6 days of the week. I mean, I'm barely on the computer, barely on iRacing the other 6 days of the week. So when you talk about championships, I feel like you got to be on here and just kind of staying up to date with, like Robbie was. He seemed pretty knowledgeable about the tires on this thing and just stuff like that he can gain from racing more than maybe once a week. So I haven't really looked at the schedule. I mean, I don't know. You show up, you race, and points fall where they fall. But yeah, if you're saying I'm in the top 5, then that's pretty cool.
Well, I guess that's a very stress-free way of racing, and I guess I say out of anyone, you probably get more enjoyment out of this just by kind of coming in and just being like, okay, it's a race. I'm just going to do what I can here tonight. Yeah,
I mean, you work a full-time 40-hour job, and then I've got a 3-year-old and a wife, and you just got life, you know. So the hour or two I can get on here and just have fun with something I enjoy as a hobby, then just kind of glad to take a break and get on here and race. So I mean, I don't know if that's the right mindset. I should probably get on here and want to win and dominate races and win championships, but that's just kind of the cards I'm dealt with right now in life.
Hey, the name of the game is to have fun, and thanks for coming out and talking to us. But before we let you go, Trey, who would you like to thank for your run here tonight?
Just thanks to you guys. Thanks to Al and all the sponsors of the league, and thanks to Fuller and EJ. They're always awesome teammates to work with. Fuller cut me a few breaks on the restarts. I think he missed a shift on the last one, but there was one where I think I restarted third and I cleared him, and then he probably could have crossed me over down into 3 and got the spot back, but he didn't. So just it's nice to have teammates to cut you a break every now and then. And I think Bill, he sponsored the race, I believe, and he also let me and Fuller go when we were coming on tires. So that's always appreciated when guys kind of know they're holding you up and they don't just, sit there and hold you up for 50, 60 laps. So that was cool. I'll try to remember that down the road because he's usually faster than me. So hopefully I'll keep that in the memory bank and not race him like a you-know-what.
All right, Trey, thank you once again for coming out and talking to us, and hopefully we'll hear from you again next week at South Boston.
Oh, man. Yeah, if I get to talk to you after South Boston, there must have been a hell of a lot of cautions, but we'll see how the cards fall. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, that was Trey Edson, driver of the number 56 machine and our second place finisher here tonight. And now I believe Roger will be catching up with our third place finisher.
Yeah, I got the driver of the Aftermath Motorsports number 51 down here, the driver out of New York, Justin. 9 spots gained here tonight with the 51, and you had to come through the field with those fresher tires, battling with drivers who have yet to come to pit road. How dangerous was it out there as you made your way through the field?
We just kind of tiptoed our way up through the field, and we were picking cars off left and right, honestly. It seemed like a car or two a lap, and I really felt like we had a good shot at it, but just all the cautions in the last half of the race kind of ruined our strategy, and that's just it's just the way it happens, and take what we can get.
A lot of restarts here once you got inside the top 5 here at the end of this one. Was there team orders, team strategies there, as it looked like you and Edson were able to kind of keep each other towards the front here as that top lane didn't go on restarts?
There wasn't really any team orders. It was more, if I get I got a good enough restart one time where I was able to stay underneath of them. It was all about timing. If I don't get a good enough restart, I'm going to cut them a break and let them get in. Similar situation, he did on the same. So no team orders, just good friends racing with each other, good teammates that work well together, and that's basically all that was.
Walk us through that final restart, that green-white checker attempt. It was Keneally, Edson, and you towards the front here. Did you think you could have pulled a move to possibly pull this one off tonight at Richmond?
Robbie was not making any mistakes, so you would have had to lay the bumper to him to get by him, and it's just not worth it, honestly, with having to get an EOL and losing points that way, so it's not really worth it. I missed a shift anyway, so the last restart of the race, and you just choke it away like that, and just kind of settled for third. So Robbie ran a great race. He didn't pit at all for tires. I wish I would have known coming into it. If that would have worked, I would have just stayed out. But we'll put it in the memory bank and use it down the road for the rest of the season. I don't think we'll be pitting the rest of the season though, based on the schedule. So that might have been the last pit stop of the season.
You never know how it's all going to play out, because you started out the season with going to victory lane in the Best Colorful Creations Sweet Start 100, and then you finished 8th and 3rd, and now you're back here finishing 3rd. Can you carry the momentum here at the podium finishes going forward for the rest of the season, because next week is halfway?
I'd like to think so. It's with the way the invert is and handicap, next week's going to be tough. I'm probably going to be starting, in the low teens, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. And that's South Boston. That track is tight, and come off turn 2 on the first start of the race. If somebody gets loose and they wreck on the backstretch, you have nowhere to go, and you're just in it, and you could be done. So I've won the last 2 races in a row at South Boston at the Upstate Racing League. One of my favorite tracks. I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can work our way through the field and be talking to you again. A lot of good tracks coming up for me, so we'll see.
Well, I know you're already excited for South Boston, as it's a whole new ball game this season, so we'll let you get out of here. Who do you get to thank, though, on this number 51 that finished on the podium for the 2nd week in a row?
Yeah, I got to thank Al Smith and all the admins of the Upstate Racing League for what they do. Thanks Best Colorful Creations for sponsoring the series. Thank Bill, Martin, and Dr. Noise for sponsoring the race. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I love watching these things back at work, so I'll run through this tomorrow at work. And thanks to Scott Stenzel, Personal Comfort, better price. Thank Trey for keeping me looking good out here. We got some really good looking cars, and he does a phenomenal job on them. So got to thank him, and can't thank him enough for that. Thank everybody in the race tonight. That was a good, fun, clean race. I didn't see too many things to shake a stick at, So just looking forward to getting back into the dirt car on Sunday night.
There you hear it from Justin Fuller, who will finish 3rd here tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Congratulations to our top 3 finishers, Robbie Keneally, Trey Edson, Justin Fuller. Brian Hacker finishes 4th, with Mike Alexander rallying back to finish in the 5th position. But Kelly, a great race here by these drivers. For the 6th time ever, the Upstate Racing League has come to the Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, another fantastic race put on, and as we keep on mentioning, just a great work by Robbie Keneally, pretty much just a masterclass as he was able to coax those tires along. And I think not only is he our race winner tonight, I believe he is also our biggest mover, gaining 12 positions from his 13th place starting spot.
Yeah, so he will take home the Brian Rogers Motorsports biggest mover of the event here. I believe he did that last week, too, so it's 2 back-to-back weeks. He's able to take home multiple trophies at the end of a Thursday evening. He will also continue to be the Arts Barbershop top spot in the Rookie of the Year standings, and he will also take I believe it would be the Racing Designs Rookie of the Year top spots. He'll hold on to that also here after the Richmond Raceway. Kelly, closing thoughts as we get ready to go to the South Boston Speedway before we have a handful of weeks off for the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of whiplash here as we go from the Bull Ring and Oxford Plains to suddenly we're going to the big track of Richmond Raceway, and then right back to another small track to South Boston. And so I think South Boston is going to be another fantastic race. Might be a little more hairy than tonight's race. We're probably going to see a lot more bumping and banging, but I think we're going to see another fantastic run out down there.
Well, for everybody at the Upstate Racing League, the Dr. Noise Custom Diecast, and of course, Best Colorful Creations, that's Kelly Dahl with the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name's Roger Muth with the Turn 3 Racing Network. We hope you enjoyed this show here tonight for the Upstate Racing League. We will catch you right before the Christmas holiday. One more race for the Upstate Racing League before we head to Christmas break. The South Boston Speedway. Sobo will play host to round number 7 for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. Until we see you there, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we will see you at the races.